pretty like, I was like, wow, how can I like experience like a moment of anger that was actually a little surprising and still hold my practice? It's like I'm forgiving myself while like it really is lovely. Like to not, it's just happening all at the same time. It's like, oh, so.
Did you hear that? That is the practice in action. So so Lisa was just saying, she caught herself in a moment of upset and anger. Who hasn't been there, right? It's and then she came back to the practice. So I can see peace in this while I'm upset. I can be angry. We don't have to try to fix the behavior. The miracle, the yoga is in catching yourself in the moment and being upset and yet saying I can see peace instead of this. Yes. See how forgiving it is? How gentle it is? And then with time you'll start to see these things that used to upset you and it's nothing. It's nothing. So we want to catch you up on a couple things. Lisa and I were talking a moment ago here. And first of all, remember the van experience. See, this is right on subject too, that Lisa went camping in her beloved VW bus, right? And it's just a classic, and she loves that thing. She's put money in it, kind of fixing it up. She got up into her camping place, and when it came time to start the thing up and drive back out, it wouldn't start. After putting the money in, and then you remember we talked about this, she had to walk 5 miles out, and people were helpful along the way, and she's practicing along the way and all that. Well, come to find out when they towed it in, right, or they took it into the garage, the problem was that the passenger seat, or the one of the captain's chairs in the back, needed to be facing forward in order for the VW to start. This little nuance that she never really knew about. Who would know that? But it was a safety feature. You can't start it with the captain's chair facing backwards, right? And what's the significance of that story but the solution and the problem are always in the same place. When we seemingly separated and came into the illusion of this thing we called life, we came into the dream. In the Course, it refers it to the tiny mad idea when we remembered not to laugh at the idea of separation. And so there's this notion of separation, but we took with us the memory of oneness. We took with us the memory of heaven. And that kernel of knowledge, that kernel of truth, lies at the altar of the mind simultaneously. We can vacillate very quickly between love and hate, but we can't have them both at the same time. There are no neutral thoughts. And that's the essence of the Avita yoga practice, that we, just like researching the mind and calling up the grievances and forgiving them, we go into the body, we look for the blockages, we look for the resistance, and the solution is where the problem, the solution is the same place as the problem. And that's why we can't be afraid of the fear, we can't be afraid of the pain, we can't avoid and heal at the same time. So we look at the stuff, we spend time in the shapes without judgment, and we soon start to recognize, oh, the closer I get to the problem, the closer I get to the solution. The ego wants us dancing away from it all. Okay. And that is the definition of a yogi. You know, yoga has become this thing where you have to be flexible to do it. You got to wear fancy clothes. You got to be in a beautiful setting, blah, 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 all these things. No, yoga is of the mind. It's always been about the mind, and it will always be about the mind. So you can call yourself a yogi if you're doing the work, doing the practice of undoing the blockages to true, lasting freedom. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, we're just a couple topics we wanted to catch you up on. When we start setting up the space here, uh, we share, and I just wanted to share that with you. Yeah, let's put the legs up on the wall and have your head on the bolster. Hips far enough away from the wall so the knees can be naturally straight. We're going to need a strap today. Just close your eyes. We'll open the practice by wrapping the elbows around the bolster, potentially sliding them under, potentially going for an interlock of the fingers. Remember, we just touch the resistance from a place of peace. Our yoga is to unify with the healed mind, moving away from the separated mind that really doesn't even exist. And then we move and we see and we listen from the healed mind. And the body and the world you see becomes a recipient of the healed mind. That's what makes the body a communication device, like a telephone. The information comes through. The healing doesn't stop, it comes through and it's extended. Now slowly turn your head to the right. That's a perfect segue into this lesson, number 37. My holiness blesses the world. This idea contains the first glimmerings of your true function in the world, or why you are here. Your purpose is to see the world through your own holiness. Thus are you and the world blessed together. No one loses, nothing is taken away from anyone. Everyone gains through your holy vision. It signifies the end of sacrifice because it offers everyone his full due. And he is entitled to everything because it is his birthright as a son of God. Bring your head back to the center. If your fingers are interlocked, switch the interlock of your fingers and slowly turn to the left. My holiness blesses the world. How holy am I who blesses the world? And blessing is not a special characteristic that comes from a special sense of self. No, not at all. True blessing is really what comes through from true forgiveness. All this time, I thought my function was to do a good job. All this time, I thought my function was to make a living, earn money, make a contribution to society, leave a legacy, set attainable goals. See how they all just make the illusion real. I gently slip away from all that worldly, even bodily responsibility. My holiness blesses the world. And through that blessing, I'm guided. Bring your head back to the center. Release your arms to your sides. All right, now find your strap. Bring it around the ball of the left foot. Hands high. Head resting. Activate the foot. Bring the toes to you. Extend through the knee, up through the heel. Keep your heel on the wall. Firm your thigh. And just keep the heel of the wall here another moment. Rely on the wall. Rely on your fingers and hands to do the work. Let your shoulders drop. And now slowly bring the heel off the wall. Yeah, it could be a millimeter off. And if that millimeter is too much, then back to the wall you go. If that millimeter is too much, it could be that you're too close to the wall and you need to scoot back some. If it ever feels like your leg is coming past or breaking the plane of the wall, coming past vertical, then you need to back off a little bit, because once we break that plane, it's hard to stay in the bones. Release your heel back to the wall. Put the strap on the ball of the right foot. Firm the thigh, keep the heel on the wall, open the sole of the foot, include the toes. Firm the thigh, extend the knee. And we'll let the pressure build in your fingers and your thumbs and your hands. Sometimes in the beginning, even the muscles in the palm of the hand start to cramp. The solution and the problem are in the same place. Slowly bring your heel off. We just can't avoid the problem. Otherwise, we'll never get to the solution. And we don't take the problem forcefully. We don't try to blast our way or force our way through it. Certainly not in the body, but also in our relationships. Spirit can guide us through the problem, and because that's what its role is. That's the prayer. Holy Spirit, please help me, guide me closer and eventually through the problem. Lower your heel to the wall. and put the strap on the heel of the left foot. Now, if you need to rest on your fingers, take it. Don't stretch them. Don't erase the sensation. Just rest them at your side and catch up when you're ready. Otherwise, let's keep working. We're working with the hands as well as any other part of the body here. Slowly start to curl the toes. Move the sole of the foot toward the wall like a ballerina shape. Keep the knee nice and straight. Yeah, and slowly bring the heel off the wall. Don't let the knee bend. So you may have arthritis or degenerative qualities in the thumb or the fingers. We're going to clean that up too. This is an amazing shape for that. The hands are working and they're elevated. The toes are working and they're elevated. Excellent. Lower your heel to the wall. Has it always been that easy for you, Lisa?
No.
Yeah, so Lisa's worked through some stuff. She makes it look easy. Okay, strap around the right heel. Yep, I have too. All right, with the strap on the heel, curl the toes, move the sole of the foot toward the wall. The instep opens. The knee wants to bend, but you keep it nice and straight. And if there's cramping or spasming, then there's no need to advance the shape. There's no need to bring your heel off the wall. Wait for the resolution before you move on. Okay, and slowly bring the heel off. Sustainable moment by moment. The arms and shoulders hang from your working hands. The weight of your arms impacts the strap down into the ankle, into the bones, through the knee, down into the hip, down into the floor. When we target and take care of the bones and the joints, the muscles take care of themselves. Back to the wall. And then set the strap aside. And once again, hands around the bolster. If you can, have your hands under the bolster, not interlocked, but just under the bolster. If that's too demanding on your shoulders, then have your hands under your head. I want the weight of the bolster or your head in your hands, as long as that's doable. Close your eyes. Your feet and legs may feel a little throbby, a little empty. Okay, as long as that's not too uncomfortable, let that be. Turn your head to the right. My holiness blesses the world. In paragraph 2, it says, there is no other way in which the idea of sacrifice can be removed from the world's thinking. There is no sacrifice. How could there be sacrifice when the thing that we seem to sacrifice doesn't exist? It says any other way of seeing will inevitably demand payment of someone or something. As a result, the perceiver will lose, nor will he have any idea why he is losing. This is the way of the world. Yet it is his wholeness restored to his awareness through your vision. Your holiness blesses him by asking nothing of him. Those who see themselves as whole make no demands. What a line. Those who see themselves as whole make no demands. That line can bring so much resolution to a relationship. Is what do we come into relationship for but to make demands? In fact, exact opposite to this sentence, we usually come into relationships unwhole, looking for another to make us whole. We introduce our significant other as our other half. No, the purpose of a relationship is to help me learn that I am whole. Bring your head back to the center. Pause a moment. Turn your head to the left. Your holiness is the salvation of the world. It lets you teach the world that it is one with you, not by preaching to it, not by telling it anything, but merely by your quiet recognition that in your holiness are all things blessed along with you. Bring your head back to the center. With your eyes closed, just scan your body, scan your surroundings. You can, quote unquote, see with your eyes closed. And then it's following along with the practice recommendation here. You can say to yourself, my holiness blesses these hands. My holiness blesses these feet. My holiness blesses this floor and this wall. My holiness blesses this room. My holiness blesses this world. I'm not sure if the derivation is accurate, but I like to think of the word wholeness, or maybe holiness, as a derivative of wholeness. Now it takes out all specialness. There's no special holy one. We're all holy. We're all whole. We just don't know it. And it's our yoga to undo the blockages to wholeness so that it can be known. And what comes from it but happiness and peace and lasting freedom, the truth of who we are. Bring your arms down by your sides. My holiness blesses the sensation of release on my arms and my shoulders. This sensation is a reflection of my holiness. And then bend your knees and push yourself back. Stretch your arms and legs. And when you're ready, roll onto one side and push yourself up. Find a comfortable seat. Rest your hands on your knees or your thighs. Soften through your structure. Feel into your bones. Good. Bring your hands to your heart. An outer expression of our wholeness. An expression of our holiness that blesses the world we see. Namaste.
Namaste.
And then even here, as you release your arms to your sides, you can softly open your eyes, and as the light comes in, just let even the light itself symbolize your holiness and bless the things you see. Have a happy day.